Hey boys and girls, Miss Bradshaw here for your writing lesson today. So last week we began talking about narrative writing or small moment stories again. And Miss Mylander talked about last week in your stories you needed to have small steps and bring out the inside. How do your characters think and how do they feel? So last week you added those things to your narrative story. This week we're going to start a new narrative story. So you should have finished your story last week and posted it by Friday. And this week we're going to start a new small moment story. So I want us to look back at this seed story versus watermelon story. And you guys may remember that we talked about this at the beginning of first grade. We talked about what seed stories were and we talked about what watermelon stories are. So watermelon story is a story that is a big story with many events. It's not focused, has too many details, too many moments in it. And we talked about a seed story was a smaller story that focuses on one event or one thing. So it's very specific. It's zoomed in. It has one small moment and it tells the most important parts of the big story. So here are some examples on this chart. A whole watermelon story would be one day there was snow on the ground. When it snows, a lot of things can happen on a snow day, right? A slice of the watermelon would be I went outside to play in the snow. Well, that's still kind of a big story, right? I could do a lot of things when I go out and play in the snow. I could have a snowball fight. I could build snow angels. I could go sledding. There are a lot of things I could do still. A seed story is I'm going to pick one of those things that I did when I went to play outside in the snow. So I went sledding while I played in the snow. That would be a seed story. One thing I did on that whole big snow day. So today, I want us to take a minute and think about some topics we could write about that are seed stories. So Miss Bradshaw is going to type hers up today. Let's think for a minute. What are some things that are little bitty stories that I could write about? I could write about going on a roller coaster at Disney World, my favorite roller coaster. Now, I wouldn't write about my whole day at Disney because that's a lot of stories, right? That's a big watermelon. But if I wrote about my favorite roller coaster at Disney, that would be a seed story. Let's see. Miss Bradshaw loves to go to the beach, but if I wrote about my whole day at the beach, that would be a watermelon story. Ooh, what about looking for sand dollars at the beach? That's a small seed story. Let me think. If I talked about going to the park, that would be another watermelon story. But what's one thing I like to do at the park? Ooh, yeah, flying my kite at the park. That's a small moment story. Let's see. If I went to the aquarium, that would be another big watermelon story. Ooh, but if I talked about seeing just the jellyfish at the aquarium, that would be a small moment seed story. And let's see, let's think of one more. When we go out to recess, we can play a lot of games or do a lot of things in that 30 minutes that we're outside at recess. So I could think about one small thing I like to do when we go to recess. Ooh, what about doing the monkey bars at recess? That's a seed story. Okay, so today I want you to take a minute and I want you to make a list of about 3 or 4 seed story topics. You can type them like Miss Bradshaw did or you can write them on paper. And then I want you to think about the one that you are going to write about. The one seed story that you can tell in small steps, stretch it out so it has details. and where you can tell me what you were thinking and how you were feeling in the story. And then I want you to start writing just a little bit of your story today. You're not going to write the whole thing because tomorrow we're going to go back and we're going to add a little bit more to it. Okay? Happy writing. I can't wait to read your stories.